ascot, but don't pull my ascot. No, you can't have my ascot, 'cause girl, that's mine. It's so divine. No, you can't have my ascot, 'cause girl, that's mine, mine, mine.
What is up, everybody? It's that time once again. Welcome to Kiss Me Podcast 4K, the crazy Kiss Countdown. You one of the best. I'm one of your hosts, Eli Clausen.
And I'm Luke Neely.
And we are here. Just a word of advice. Apparently, we have some major storms going on in our whole area. So, God forbid, fingers crossed that it doesn't get too bad, that either one of us doesn't lose power on either side here. And so just a heat of warning per se, if by chance we suddenly disappear, that probably is what happened. Let's keep our fingers crossed it doesn't, and we make it through just like we always do, and everything goes fine as it usually can. So all right, so I'm excited for this episode. This is our kind of special, like, I don't know, extras, if you want to call it. We explained it a few times, all the extra stuff off the different albums that we wanted to just kind of combine into its own, fictional album per se, instead of doing all those albums as a whole again. I was excited. It's a nice collection of stuff, jumping back from the 70s all the way up to, pretty current. Cool little mix there to go through. I had a fun time listening to all that stuff in that order. 19 songs in total, so very excited with that. Other than that, I think we got some polls to catch up on and everything else.
Yeah, definitely. So let's get into comments. We did have a few comments on the last episode. Let's see. Here we go. On the Monster episode, I got a couple of comments from Thomas, our good buddy Rain in Adamstown. Thomas says, "You are right. Good songs, but the production is bad, and the mastering is one of the worst I have ever heard. If you take out the stinkers Last Chance, Wall of Sound, and Back to the Stone Age, and add Right Here, Right Now, you have a very good 10-song collection. If you have no producer, an album like Monster is what you get. That said, there are songs I love. Hell or Hallelujah, Freak, Shout Mercy, All for the Love of Rock and Roll, or Take Me Down Below. I give the album a 5, and please go back to the studio with a world-class producer and end Kiss with an album that is as good as the band is famous. Monster can't be the last one. If they can't write anymore, they can record 10 of their 200 demos on YouTube."
Yeah. And then, like, in hindsight, like, even some things that came after Monster is technically what we're left with, which is going to be included on this list. So that's another story. And but no love for Out of This World, huh? Just no mention at all.
Yes, such a good song, though. Yes, Thomas also asks, did you ever play the game Create a 10-Song Sampler to cover many parts of the Kiss career to show someone who does not know the band what Kiss music is all about? Not easy, but this is my list, and this is what he gave us from 1 to 10. Hell or Hallelujah, Unholy, Forever, Heaven's on Fire, Lick It Up, I Love It Loud, I Was Made for Lovin' You, Detroit Rock City, Rock and Roll All Night, and Black Diamond. He says, not all my favorite songs, but many parts of the career and a good overview of the different styles.
Wow. That's an interesting list. I gotta personally say, just on my side of things, I would not have put a lot of those songs on there, because to me, a lot of them songs would be like maybe the next step. Like, okay, if you dug that stuff, then maybe now you need to hear these songs, some of those songs would be on there, but stuff like Unholy and Hell or Hallelujah, now I personally would have probably held off. But hey, to each is their own. That's your opinion. It's my opinion. There's no wrong answer, but I'm sure we'd all, if we played this game, everyone that chimed in would all have different lists. So.
Right. Very true. I appreciate the inclusion of all that no makeup stuff there. Honestly, you know what I mean? That because I feel like you're right. Just your average off the street Kiss fan is probably going to go more heavily into the original stuff and have like Dr. Love and Love Gun and stuff like that. So I that would be interesting. We've done things like that before, but we've never done that specifically. 10 songs, not necessarily just your favorites, but like Thomas says here, to show off their whole career and an overview of the different styles they've covered. That would be a really interesting list.
Yeah, it would. I think we've done, like you said, similarities, and it's been what feels like years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Those type of things, like come up with a fantasy album of blah 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 blah, or even like we came up with our own fantasy set list for the final show, which now is going to be a real thing, so things like that in the past. What's up, David? How you doing?
How's it going? All right. So thanks for that, Thomas. That's a really interesting idea and a cool list.
Absolutely.
We also got a comment from Anthony X. There's a familiar name. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Anthony says, I never gave much thought to what the best live Kiss song is, but now, having given it some serious thought, I have to say it's the Alive version of Deuce. Thank you. Yes. It's not even in my personal top 10 of live Kiss songs, but you can't deny its raw, in-your-face energy. You can feel the guitars and the drums going through your chest. No other song on a Kiss live album compares to it, my opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah, Anthony, he will be joining us again at some point, hopefully sooner than later. He is just really busy right now with things, and so we wish him all the luck and can't wait to have him back on with us. So.
Yes, absolutely. Anthony also says, I give Monster a 5 out of 10. My top 3 songs in order are Long Way Down, Back to the Stone Age, and Hell or Hallelujah. I've always thought that Freak would have been a great hit song had it been performed by Lady Gaga or Gwen Stefani instead of Kiss. It would have resonated better with younger, hipper pop stars performing it than an old man like Paul. That's a good point. A negative about this album for me was it should have had more Tommy and Eric on lead vocals. They both have amazing voices.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm even open to the idea of opening a Kiss album with someone other than Gene or Paul, something different. Definitely. I don't dislike the album because it's got crappy songs. Kiss's entire catalog is filled with fillers and throwaways. I'm just older now, and I'm not so fast to accept everything Kiss puts out. If they'd released this album when I was 13, like any other classic Kiss album, it'd be one of my favorites because I would have had time to grow and create a connection with the album, because that's what you do when you're young. You think everything Kiss does is great. But now as an adult, I listen to it with a more critical ear.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I think
go ahead.
I was going to say, I think we touched a little bit on that too, the idea that, and Paul has said this too, that with time things become more classic, and Hell or Hallelujah is probably going to be considered a Kiss classic, and just like modern day Delilah is now, and Cyclist Circus is now, that sort of stuff. But yeah, you're definitely right. We haven't had near enough time with the album as a whole to look at it the same way we look at Rock and Roll Over or Love Gun.
Right. Yeah, and like I said last week, I feel like Hell or Hallelujah's pretty much already reached that point, in my opinion. I mean, I wish they would play it more often. That would definitely help it. But I feel like it's kind of in that same, area as what Delilah and even Cyclist Circus is at this point. Yeah, who knows? I know it may be a little foreshadowing of what's to come, but I know Black and Blue is performing on the Kiss cruise. So who knows if Tommy might keep that going afterwards. I'd like to see Eric Singer put out maybe a solo album of sorts, or if he even if he just puts together another band. But point being, I'd almost like him to be the lead vocalist, because I would like to hear more of him singing some stuff, and even stuff that he actually pretty much comes up with.
Agreed. Yeah. Lastly, Anthony also says, my true confession is I honestly don't care if Kiss makes another album, even with Bob Ezrin, Rick Rubin, Eddie Kramer, or whoever. At this point in my Kiss fandom, I'm totally content with the first album going all the way up to Hot in the Shade. A new Kiss album wouldn't excite me, unless they remade That's the Kind of Sugar Papa Likes with Eric on vocals just to screw with Luke.
That is great.
Good.
That is great.
That's good. I got to tell you guys, anybody that tuned in last week and understands what that comment's in reference to.
Oh, lost you there. Come on, audio chip.
Catch it. Hello?
There it is.
Geez, all right, I had to reset the thing. So I work with the guy that plays Gene Simmons in the Kiss tribute band Sweet Pain that Eli's in and I was in. And he started singing That's the Kind of Sugar Papa Likes at me that earlier the day last week when we filmed Monster, and it reminded me of that song. And I hope the fact that I brought it up a bunch of times didn't feel like me making fun of it. I do genuinely really like that. So it's one of my favorite songs on Peter's album.
Yeah.
So half of what I was saying in reference to the songs on Monster not being as good as that one weren't really sarcastic, honestly. But I appreciate that comment, Anthony. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat at this point. Like, I really don't want a new album either if it's just going to be along the same lines of what we got with Sonic Boom and Monster. I mean, yes, again, there's some good stuff. I'm not sitting here trashing it, but it's just like, but at the same time, it's like that wasn't really what we wanted in the first place is what was on those albums. But there was stuff that we pretty much settled with, and there is some stuff that's like, okay, that's good for what it is, but in the back of our heads, it's kind of like we're all still, yearning for what we know we want it to sound like. So I'm kind of the same way. Like I'm kind of at the point now where I'm fine with, put out the new random live, recordings and things that people haven't had before. And if that's, just to keep the Kiss name alive one way or another, I guess, so be it. I mean, keep putting out these off the soundboard things, and put out more demos and collections and things like that. I guess I'd almost be more excited about stuff like that than an actual new album. But
yeah, I think at this point that's the only safe way to feel, because I think what we really all want, we know that's not what's going to happen, and so it's just easier to accept. And yeah, Anthony's right. I'm perfectly content with the discography as is. And the only way I would be excited about a new Kiss album is if they had like a Bob Ezrin or some producer that's not going to let them just get away with anything because they're Kiss.
Right.
I think if we got another new studio album, and I really doubt it, if we got another one, it's just going to be Paul producing again, and it's going to be Sonic Boom Monster Part 2.
Right.
Right, and not that there's anything necessarily wrong with that. They write what they think is good, and if they like it, awesome. But yeah, to me, the only chance of getting a whole album full of Hell or Hallelujah and Modern Day Delilah stuff that would go up there with the classics, I think they need that outside ear to tell them, no, shut up. I don't care that you're Kiss. You got to do better.
Yeah. And, to be perfectly honest, and again, I'm not trying to dig at Tommy or anything, but maybe if Bruce was still in the band, or even Vinny for that matter, then we would probably get closer to that type of sound that we all kind of yearn for, because it seemed like Bruce and Vinny especially brought that out of them with what because obviously with...
Holy crap.
It's going down, guys.
It's a tornado warning. Yeah, I wonder, I think Tommy could bring that. I honestly wonder if he just sort of accepts that he's just an employee and goes along with whatever they say, Yeah,
I feel like it's kind of that, in the fact that he's locked into that character, so he has to kind of, write and play, let's say, in that box of that character per se. Not because we heard the Black and Blue stuff. We know what he can do.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not, again, like, I don't know why I have to keep defending it, but I'm not saying like, oh, he's playing like crap since he's been in Kiss. But I agree. I feel like it's not his true full potential. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And yeah, so maybe if Bruce or Vinny, or if Vinny was at least had a chance to write again like he did with Revenge, we might get more that kind of stuff. Who knows? But
yeah,
at this point, yeah, I just really don't see it happening at all. So
that would be the true one last Kiss surprising us and doing something nobody saw coming.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, Scott? Carolina Hard Rock. So let's see what we got. Polls.
Polls, yeah. All right. So in case anybody's brand new viewer here, we like doing tournaments. That's our thing. Over here on... Now the tornado siren is going off in Greenville.
Uh-oh.
Let me, you know what? Let me take a look outside here.
Yeah,
real quick.
You better. Sorry, guys, if you missed it at the beginning. We've got some horrible storms apparently rolling through our area of Ohio, and where Luke's at in Greenville, they're getting it a little worse right now. So
it's not even raining. The sky is clear and blue.
Huh.
Very strange.
Wow.
I guess I'll try and keep an ear out.
Yeah, I don't know. Saying tornado warning for Dark County extended to 6 p.m.
Yeah. The emergency alert on my phone says take shelter now.
But yet there's literally nothing going on.
Yeah, I mean, at least out the back window of the studio, there is literally nothing.
Wow.
Hey, Kiss is more important than a tornado.
Yeah.
They don't understand. We got a podcast to do.
Scott said they need to bring back Michael James Jackson and reproduce Sonic Boom and Monster.
Hey, there you go. That'd be pretty funny. That'd be pretty funny. All right, so yeah, over here on YouTube, of course, our thing is album reviews. Over on Facebook, you can search Kiss Meets the Podcast and like our Facebook page or follow it, or however Facebook's doing that now. We would, of course, very much appreciate that support. We also run a private group, Kiss Meets the Podcast group, which you can search. You do have to request access to join, but we approve everybody, so don't let that stop you at all. Why should you want to join this group, you ask? Because we post weekly tournament matches, usually about 6 a week. This time it was 4. We wrapped up a couple of months ago our studio album Kiss tournament, where we put up all the studio songs against each other to see which was the best. It was Creatures of the Night, by the way, interestingly. See, that's why you should definitely get in on this, because I don't know about you, but I didn't see Creatures of the Night winning the whole thing. That was a big surprise. Don't disagree, but surprise. And right now we are actually in the middle of a live song tournament. So we've pit all the live tracks from the main Kiss released live albums against each other, and we are getting near the end of that tournament. We've just started round 4 today, and there are only 8 matches in that round. That's how close we are to this. But don't worry, don't hesitate, don't worry about jumping in at the last minute. Get in there now. We want your vote. Even if you don't come in till the final round, that's completely fine. Get in there and vote. Tell us what your favorite Kiss song is.
Let's hesitate.
Yeah, so let's talk about results. Now, last week, we had a special thing. We did a second chance round. Now, those only come around every once in a while, and we only do those when we have an uneven number of songs progressing to the next round. So we can't just let one go without a fight. We take the top 6 rated losing songs, pit them against each other in one big match. Everybody just picks one, and the highest voted one gets back in the running for the next round. So last week, that's what we did. That's what we posted. Let me look again at which songs those were. Here we are. So the 6 that we had in our second chance round were I Stole Your Love from Alive 2, Cyclist Circus from Kiss Rocks Vegas, Shandy from Alive 4, Heaven's on Fire from Alive 3, A World Without Heroes from MTV Unplugged, and Lick It Up from Alive 3. So a lot of good contenders there. Just today, we got the results back from that. An absolutely resounding no contest for I Stole Your Love Alive 2 coming back. So got that in. I Stole Your Love is now back in the running for round 4 at the end. So let's talk about what you can go vote on right now. Again, jump over on your Facebook and search Kiss Meets the Podcast group if you're not in there already. Request access and we will get you in there approved so that you can get your votes in. What you can vote on right now are the first 4 matches of round 4, which are Watching You from Alive versus Strutter from Alive, Love Gun from Alive 2 versus Parasite from Alive, God of Thunder from Alive 2 versus Deuce from Alive 3. And finally, I Want You from Alive 2 versus Firehouse from Alive. So lots and lots of very tough matches posted this week. Again, get over there and get your vote in on that. We want to hear from you and see what you think. Because, yeah, I mean, it's getting harder and harder to choose for me. I don't know about for you guys. It's really difficult to pick now that we're getting into these final rounds. So the last 4 matches of round 4 will be posted next week. Don't miss that. We're getting down into the nitty-gritty before we start yet another new tournament. All right. Kind of keeping an eye on the weather here.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead and with whatever you were talking about, because I'm finishing up something real quick here on the computer with Amy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah.
Just another second.
Let's see. Yes, I am now getting several halfway panic texts saying something's going on, get out of there. Very strange. Scott, we started probably, 20 after 5. We started a little late today, but right around 5. All right.
All right. Sorry about that.
Yep, no problem.
Scott, we always say 5 o'clock, but usually by the time we go live, it's more like 20 after or so because we always kind of do a little blabbing and pregame a little bit before we actually go live. So
right.
But as far as like the polls, you can always look for those usually around like I'd say 4 o'clock. Luke tends to get them posted on the group, so you can definitely get a head start on those before the show starts.
Yes, I think I'm going to go take another look. I'm going to actually go outside real quick and try and figure out.
Yeah, go take a look.
If this is actually,
I know you guys have it worse than we do right now, so I want to make sure it's all right where you are.
Right. I want to see if the people texting me are just kind of overreacting or whether this is really something.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Again, I said this at the beginning of the show. We got a pretty nasty storm rolling through our part of Ohio. Luke's up a little more north in Greenville, so they're getting it a little worse right now. They have tornado watches and sirens going off, or warnings. So yeah, he's just making sure everything's good where he's at. I think we're okay here right now, but we were saying, God forbid that if one of us loses power once it started with these storms and we disappear, that's what happened. Sorry if it does happen. We hope it doesn't. We hope we make it through this thing and get through the show as usual. So, but hey, that's the fun of doing this show. You never know what's going to happen. So, How's it looking?
It's starting to rain. It is definitely very windy outside.
Yeah, I heard some areas could get up to 80, 90 miles an hour.
Wow. Yeah, I mean it wasn't blowing hard enough to push me around or anything, but it was very the wind was audible just constantly.
That's what she said.
Ha ha ha.
Wasn't blowing hard enough.
I wish I had a window in here. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Feel a little better about just sort of keeping an eye on the situation.
Yeah, at least you're in a padded room.
Right. Well, I was taught you always got to look for the silver lining in every situation. And in this situation is if a tornado tears through here and kills me, I won't have to go to work Monday.
I was just reiterating what's going on to everybody. I was like, yeah, you never know what's going to happen on this show, I tell you.
Yeah. We're doing a podcast in the middle of a tornado.
1 week to the next, you just don't know what's going to pop up.
Yes.
Whether it's technical issues, natural disasters. YouTube shutting us down.
Yeah.
Ronnie Parker, what's up, bro?
How's it going?
Scott said, send it down to North Kakalaki. It's dry. Well, I'm glad you guys are going through a drought. That's what we need. We've had way too much rain here this year already.
There has been a ton.
I felt like my backyard was finally getting a chance to dry up after going all these days without rain. And now here we are getting all these storms again.
Of course.
Jesus. Yeah, I was looking at the radar, and like you guys, like the worst of it's passing right through Greenville right now, the red. And literally it's like not even that big, and as soon as that passes, there's literally nothing behind you.
Right.
And then when it heads this way, it looks like we'll just kind of catch the edge of the red.
Yeah, probably.
So.
And I'll tell you what, too, knock on wood, but there has never been a tornado hit Greenville in the history of Greenville. So.
Yeah. Well, a couple of years ago when we had that freak tornado that hit around here, that has never happened as far as I know. Not in my lifetime. I know the closest a tornado ever hit was Xenia and, all that back in the day, like in the 70s. But to hit this close to home like it did a couple of years ago. And then thanks to that, we lost Hare Arena and, some other stuff. There's still stuff that isn't rebuilt to this day over in that neighborhood.
Right.
There was a grocery store that got damaged. Well, they finally tore that down. But, all right. So, we're definitely going to keep our eye peeled, especially in Luke's area there, how things are looking. And, but we'll just kind of keep on going until something changes. Hopefully it doesn't. So, all right. Well, I guess there's really no album info for this, unless you had bullet points for different songs or anything. But
I figured we'd just talk a little bit about whatever album we're jumping to.
Yeah. All right. So again, this is 19 tracks, and we're going to start it off. Lightning detected 3 miles from just lightning. As long as you don't kill my power. All right, so we're going to start off. These are kind of in order, but we're going to start off a little different here with Double Platinum. So of course the track that we took off of Double Platinum is Strutter 78. So this one came in at number 9 for me. And so Double Platinum, since I guess we'll talk about the albums a little bit first, I guess. Double Platinum, thanks to this show, good Lord, we found out a lot of people, Double Platinum was kind of their introduction to Kiss, and kind of their first album that they received from Kiss. I don't know how many people told us they got it for a Christmas present. And
yeah.
I mean, it's so cool to hear that, but yeah, I mean, whoa, I heard that.
Wow.
Jeez. Great compilation, as we know. it has some different remixes of some of the classic songs, and then basically just kind of, I don't know, maybe remastered versions of the other stuff. And then of course we got this Strutter 78. Your thoughts on Double Platinum?
I, at least as far as the episode where we reviewed that in the first 4K series, not a big fan. Not a big fan of the album in general. Didn't like some of the remixes. Didn't like some of the changes to the songs, barring Detroit Rock City, which I completely agree with you. It is nice to have a version without that intro. I love that minute-long intro, but it is nice to have something that just jumps right to the song. As an album, I think it's an okay collection of songs. I, to this day, am disappointed that Shock Me is not on it. And again, like I said, not big on the remixes.
Right. I mean, like I said, with that Detroit, like if I'm listening to just kind of a random mix of Kiss music and Detroit Rock City, I feel like listening to that. Yeah, I want the version from Double Platinum because I want that song to just start, keep that momentum going because if you play that whole intro thing, it just kind of slows it down. And but yeah, I mean, if I'm listening to the actual album of Destroyer, yeah, no problem. It's not like I skip over it or anything. But so yeah, number 9 for me. What'd you rank it?
14. I guess I didn't really talk about this song specifically.
I didn't really either yet, but I figured we'll just kind of bounce back and forth.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So 14.
14. Not big on this. I've never really seen the point for this recording, honestly. I guess they were just trying to open older songs to the newer audience with the disco thing. But honestly, for me, the disco beat takes away from Peter's drum part. And then even more disappointing than that, the production just pretty much still just sounds like the first album. It's not any better. Which is disappointing considering the quality of the solo albums, which had just happened, and then Dynasty almost right after this, one of their best-sounding 70s albums, if not their best-sounding 70s album. If they were going to go to the trouble of re-recording this song from scratch, couldn't they have done a little better job?
Yeah, I mean, this really was the first disco song that Kiss released before I was made. So yeah, it was kind of like they were grooming the people to see what what the feedback would be. And I guess from what I understand, like this version was kind of played in the clubs for a little bit too. Like people were dancing to it before I Was Made for Loving You came out. So I'm not sure, but I feel like they had made an extended mix of this one too, but I could be wrong. But I felt like there was maybe another extended version for the club, setting or whatever. But anyway, I mean, if any credit I can give it, I kind of like how towards the end where there is like kind of more like guitar soloing going on that wasn't there before, and some extra lyric stuff going on that Paul's doing towards the end, and then also the kick drum seems like it's got a little more hit you in the chest than what it does on the original version of the song on the album. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I definitely prefer the original, and I even prefer the demo version of Strutter over this version, because even on the demo of Strutter, there's some differences, but in a good way. It still keeps it, rocking and, all that stuff. So, yeah. So next then we jump back just a bit to Alive 2. So of course we have those 5 tracks that were added at the end of the live show. So starting off with All American Man, and this is my number 1.
Nice. Number 4 for me on this one.
Yeah. I just can't deny it. I mean, the more I listen to this song, the more I love it, more and more. And especially when it comes to the 5 songs here just on Alive 2. I would have. I mean, I love Rocket Ride, but I feel like All American Man definitely kind of it's definitely taken that spot now at this point. It's just such a great written song, and I think another big part of it too is obviously that now that we've lost Bob Kulick, and just hearing his amazing work that he did on these songs, and or this song especially, just that just puts the icing on the cake for me. And it's just such a well structured song, and that energy is up there, and they showed it through this right in the sets for the Dynasty tour or whatever it was. So it should have been performed live, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I can't believe it hasn't. That's ridiculous, honestly. Yeah, this is one of the best songs on the side of Alive 2. I mean, hands down, without a doubt. I've never been huge on live recordings, and I'm especially not really that big on the idea of mixing live recordings and studio recordings. So generally speaking, I thought this was a weird. I would have rather had repeat songs from Alive 1 than new studio recordings. However, not to say that these recordings are bad. It's the format that I'm complaining about, really. I love that this song is still very much in the style of Love Gun era Kiss. It makes sense musically where they were and where they were going. Even if this isn't actually the four of them, this is where they're really starting to dip their toes into, maybe we don't need the four of us to put a Kiss song out, which, as we all know, got way out of control. But here they were still at least making the effort to give out the illusion that it really was the four of them, and it works very well.
Yeah, I mean, this was really the last glimpse of what could have came next that we were all talking about with Love Gun, and had they kept that momentum rolling, and and again, I love Dynasty obviously, but it definitely is a whole different sound though. So it's good to have this last bit of what could have been if they kept the ball rolling in that direction. Excuse me. Next up is Rockin' in the USA. This one came at number 15 for me.
Nice. 11 for me.
It's a cool concept, but I've heard these kind of songs a million times. I've been here, I've been there, naming off all these cities, blah blah blah. I've heard it from so many different artists, so it just kind of gets a little old at this point. But I mean, other than that, it's like it's got a good upbeat, pace to it. It keeps the energy going. It doesn't slow down at all. And some cool background vocals going on and stuff like that, with the harmonies and all. So
yeah, very catchy riff. I've always liked the riff in this song. Reason it's low for me, honestly, it's too short for one. 2.5 minutes is basically nothing, and then a large portion of that is the chorus repeating over and over.
Yeah.
So yeah, too short, too repetitive. Other than that, good catchy Gene song. Just wish they had figured it out a little more.
Ronnie says he's listened to a lot of Gene's demos on YouTube. He was experimenting with the disco feel and tempos and songs, especially on his solo album. Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely tell he was starting to bring that sound in too. All right. Next we have Larger Than Life, and this is number 5.
12 for me.
12. And again, another great one that Bob Kulick was a part of. Dare I say the solo on this, God, I almost like it better than the one on All American Man, to be honest, but it's kind of hard. I mean, I like both these songs almost the same. Like I feel like these two songs, especially out of the 5 here, are the most similar in my opinion. Because you got Paul with All American Man and Gene Larger Than Life. It's kind of like, yeah, absolutely. That kind of fits them both to a T, each song. yeah, so great song, and it was cool to be able to see Bob perform this stuff live a few times and all that. So great stuff. Love Gene's lyrics on here too, the way he's delivering it. So.
Oh yeah, this was much more of a typical Gene song lyrically than Larger Than Life. Yeah. Yeah, I hadn't really considered that. That honestly, the lyrical theme, this one makes a lot more sense for Gene. Musically, though, I've never been a big fan of this one. Honestly, it even feels a bit uninspired compared to "Rockin' in the USA." Musically speaking, I do like the harmonies on the chorus, though. Those are always a neat part of it. And again, which I always rant and rave about on Sonic Boom and Monster, I enjoy how you can hear Paul on the Gene song. You can tell that the harmony is Paul singing.
Now we have a severe thunderstorm warning. I could hear it rumbling outside. So next up, we go to Rocket Ride, which we obviously get an ace track here. This is number 2. So, I mean, like I said, it's no secret. I've always been a big fan of Rocket Ride since the first time I heard it. This was always number 1 in the past for especially these songs, but like I said, it got edged out, but I just love the riff. I feel like this is one of the heavier Kiss riffs in the whole catalog, and just I love the energy of it. Just everything about it. The solo, I even love the ending thing where you get the little guitar solo, and then you get a little bit of a drum solo to end it out, and the big ring out and everything. Always loved it. Perfect Ace song. I mean, I don't think you get too much closer to a perfect Ace song than Shock Me, basically.
Yeah.
What's that? Why aren't you in the basement? He is in the basement.
Yeah, you don't know. Maybe this is what the basement looks like. Oh, I guess the tornado siren is still going on. I just heard it power down. Weird. Yeah, this is number 3 for me. This is, I think, honestly, Alive 2 is worth having just for this song, if nothing else. Now, I personally like All American Man a little bit better, maybe. I don't know. I guess I did rank it 4 and this one 3. So they're pretty neck and neck. Me not even being a huge fan of Ace specifically, this song still stands among my favorite all-time Kiss songs. Mm-hmm. I feel like the production on this one is even better than any of the other 5 on Alive 2, the new ones. And then, the solo. I think this is either one of or definitely my favorite Ace solo on a studio Kiss track. Shock Me is right up there too, of course, but this one is pretty awesome.
Absolutely. 5 minutes ago, severe thunderstorm. Now it's a tornado warning for Montgomery County, which we're part of. Let's see. Yeah, Scott, I saw you were posting some stuff on YouTube like that. Definitely was checking them out. Good stuff, man. No, we're not doing just Gene songs. We're just doing all these extra tracks that were on these different albums. So because we didn't want to do all the albums in full again like we did last time, so it wasn't quite fair to these tracks. So we wanted to just kind of combine all this stuff into its own fictional type of album. So yeah, that's it. Funnel clouds are one thing. It's when they touch down is when you got to worry about it. Funnel clouds happen a lot. Trust me, if I got to get to the point of running to the bathroom again like we did back in 2019, that's when you know it's getting real.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, we move on to Any Way You Want It. This came in at number 16 for me.
19, Dead Last for me.
Mm-hmm. So this, of course, in case anyone happens to not know, is a cover of the Dave Clark Five, which I'm a fairly big fan of the Dave Clark Five. They had a lot of good songs, and it also became a pretty well-known thing recently that Dave Clark Five was the band that inspired Eddie Van Halen to play music. So little tie-ins there. But anyway, yeah, I mean, so yeah, it's a pretty straightforward cover of it for the most part. They didn't really take it upon themselves to do many changes or anything, which I don't really think it needed it. I'm still not sure really what the reasoning behind doing this was. Why another cover? Instead of just writing another song or whatever, you're not going to play it live, all that stuff. But the one thing I do love about this song is the end, because this is like the one and only Kiss song where they get to put a Beatle ending in a song. So you get that. So you get that tie in there of their obvious love and everything for the Beatles. So they got a chance to throw a Beatle ending there and took it on this song. So that's always, I always kind of get a little smirk on my face every time I hear that ending.
Yeah. So yeah, man, why couldn't they just end Alive 2 with Rocket Ride? I certainly hope it wasn't just because Gene got 2 songs and Paul only had the one. Like, I hope it wasn't that, but I kind of feel like it was. Rocket Ride's in my top all-time favorite. This one is probably my bottom, if not the bottom of all-time Kiss songs. As far as covers go, I can't even really personally say that it's a decent version. I'd take the Dave Clark version any day over this. At least Then She Kissed Me was still an okay version of that song. Doesn't stand up to the originals on Love Gun, but still an okay track. This, though...
Yeah, because they at least added that solo, and Then She Kissed Me. They took the gumption to actually do a little something to it to give it more of that Kiss flavor. But with this one, it was almost like they just had no choice. But no, we need one more song, no matter what. And then someone just threw out the idea of, oh, let's just do this, and okay, bam, and then they just threw it all together real quick. And you might as well just put the Dave Clark version on the record, because
and to end it with this, that bothered me too. And that, when you had such a strong ending with Rocket Ride, the song being strong and the end of that song being cool,
right?
I just very, very turned off by it.
Yeah, I wish with Alive 2 they would have left Take Me on there like it was supposed to be, and then I believe Do You Love Me, and then Hooligan maybe, and then get rid of Any Way You Want It and Rockin' in the USA. And hey, that would have still given us one extra track on the whole entire album.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, you need to go check our post on our group page, man, because we're ranking this as a whole. 19 tracks, they're listed on there. So please, man, go over there, give us your overall vote for all 19, not just the Alive 2 stuff. All right, so now we jump all the way to Killers, which was another pretty interesting compilation that was only released overseas at the time, and didn't see an official U.S. release, at least on vinyl, until 2014 with that box set. So we start off on those with I'm a Legend Tonight. This was number 4 for me.
This is my number 1.
Nice. This is one of them Paul songs that I always feel like is an ultimate Paul song. I remember talking when we did Killers how I get these mental images of if they would have done this song live, of how cool it would have looked for Paul to be up on his platform and like maybe the disco ball spinning and just that ultimate rock god, look that he gets on stage and, that kind of stuff, and doing this song. And it's just like, it's a damn shame again that they never did it, especially back then. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I am actively mad that this one wasn't on a regular studio album.
Yeah.
That this is one of the ones, like most of these, that can just slip completely under the average Kiss fan's radar and they never hear it. The production is just perfect for this song. All four of the new ones right here. I don't feel like I'm wanting the Creatures' huge drums. I don't feel like I'm wanting the earlier sound. I think it's exactly perfect. And I immediately I picture how much of a relief these four new songs must have been for Eric Carr after the Elder.
Yes.
Okay, this is the band that I was trying to join. This makes sense. These seem like a logical progression from Unmasked. This is Kiss with the disco and the pop thing under their belts now. They know how to do that. They know how to integrate those elements better, but they're going back towards the rock roots. Not exactly the way they did it before, but you can hear where they were, and also you can hear where they're about to go with Creatures, and I really like that about the song.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, a breath of fresh air for Eric it had to be. And, the one, I'll just say it now, even though we got a few more songs on this album, but with Killers, I've always wondered, why are they all Paul songs? I mean, I love all four of those songs, don't get me wrong, but it's like, why are they all Paul songs? Because obviously you would expect there to be at least a Gene song or something, and especially staying in the vein of like the Alive 2 stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've always wondered what that reasoning was. Down on Your Knees comes in next. Number 12.
Number 9 for me.
9. Yeah, I mean, like I was just saying, I mean, all four of these songs are great in their own way. And, Paul has this way of making each song just sounding perfectly different from each other. It almost doesn't matter that it's only Paul, and not Gene or anybody, because it's like he just has this way about it that every song just makes you feel different. And you listen to it differently. But yeah, I mean, it gets a little, I don't know, I guess somewhat repetitive, which is why I ranked it at 12. So I'd probably say, if I had to, that this is one of my least favorite of the four, but definitely not the least.
Right. I noticed the bass is louder in this song, almost more like a Gene song would have been. That we've talked about that a lot recently, where in the Gene songs it seems like his bass is louder in the mix, and then here we are with a louder bass, and that of course makes me wonder, what would this song have sounded like if Gene had sang it?
Yeah.
Not only if he had just sang it like Paul did, but if he had come up with his own melody. I feel like the lyrical content still matches stuff that he was writing in that vein. Yeah, it's just an interesting thought. Honestly, I'm often too critical of this song. I've always said, of the four, they're all good, but there's only two really good ones. And this is not usually one that I would say that about. It is a worthy addition, though, without a doubt. It's still a really good song. And I really like the edge Paul has on his vocals in this song. Sounds so much like what he was going to do with Creatures and Lick It Up. He was singing his freaking throat out on those two albums, and this song has that same edge. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, that one part was like, now that you got me, will. Like, you can practically hear his voice straining,
Yeah.
And then it's weird because there's almost like, again, like a bit of foreshadowing to me, because, like the whole, like, she's all right. Like, to me, that almost sounds like stuff that they would end up doing, like in the Lick It Up and Animalize eras. That type of thing, and they're doing it here on this song especially. So it almost feels like a bit of foreshadowing, and what they would start doing more, which is great stuff.
Yeah.
So then we got Nowhere to Run. This one was number 10 for me. Cool intro. I always love this intro. That kind of quick, whatever you want to call it, like punch or whatever, I don't know. And then it goes right into the acoustic guitar section, which, I don't think we had really heard much of an acoustic on a Kiss song for quite a while at this point. So that was cool to hear. And again, Nowhere to Run. It's another one that I feel like this and Legend for some reason are kind of, one and the same. And I don't know why that is, but it seems like a lot of Kiss albums, there's always at least two songs that, at least to me, I feel like relate to one another. It's weird how that works because there's like no other bands I do that with. But again, like I kind of get that mental image again of Paul singing this one while he's up there on his perch too, the Nowhere to Run, and kind of when he's doing the Nowhere to Run and doing his like point to the crowd and stuff while he's doing it, and that kind of thing, and just I mean, I don't know. It's a great song, and it's just again just a shame that they didn't perform this stuff live, and I just don't understand why. I wish they would have,
Yeah. This one and I'm a Legend Tonight make the whole Killers album for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is my number 2. Did I say that? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
No, this is my number 2. The 4 new songs are all great, but especially this one and Legend. They make me wish they would have just done another full studio album in between The Elder and Creatures.
Yes.
Screw the greatest hits. Give us 8 or 10 studio songs just like these 4. Freaking great. They would have been amazing. And then also, I noted this song more than any of those other 4. Bob sounded a whole lot like Bruce on the guitar solo.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because obviously we don't want to forget to mention that Bob played on all this stuff too. So yeah, I mean, he's obviously a big reason these songs are as good as they are. So we don't want to seem to undercredit him or anything.
Right.
And then the last one here on the Killers set of 4, Partners in Crime, number 14. So like I said, this one probably is my least favorite of the 4. Because it's just a little too like slow, and it feels a little draggy at times, and I'm not a big fan of the whole riff and everything, but I mean, again, it's a good song. I'm not saying I hate it. I mean, I can listen to these 4 songs, back to back all the time. It's no problem. I love these 4 songs as for what they are, especially in this setting. So, but it's just this one, since we have to rank them in this scenario, this one definitely comes in more towards the last of, towards the bottom end of the whole list, let alone least favorite of these Killers stuff here.
Yeah. Definitely agree. Number 10 for me. And this is another one I'm usually more critical of. This time, still hit pretty good. I was just really enjoying that Killers vibe this time around. So yeah, I completely agree. Still put it below the other 3, but I do enjoy the song.
Ronnie says they could have used Deadly Weapons and Ace's Breakout on Killers. That would have been interesting for sure.
Oh yeah, if this were a studio album instead of a greatest hits, man, having Breakout on there instead of using it as Car Jam later,
yes.
That would have been the perfect Ace edition.
Oh,
yes.
Wow. Yeah.
Yep, that is a good idea right there, Ronnie.
All right, so now we jump ahead to Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits. And, of course, that is probably the worst compilation ever put out.
Yeah. God, yeah.
You don't believe us, go back and look up the episode where we did this whole album, which is one of the reasons we decided not to do it this way this time.
Yeah.
Is because of this album.
The ultimate sin they committed, removing the huge reverb from the Creatures drums.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, yeah, that's disgusting. The version of Rock and Roll All Night is disgusting.
Yeah.
Eric Carr singing Beth is disgusting. Yeah, there's just so much. But there is a little light peeking through there with these 2 songs here that they gave us, and thankfully they were at the beginning of the album. So first we have Let's Put the X in Sex. AKA this what the cicadas were singing to Steve McGowan and his band while they played a show recently as they were attacked. Actually, both these songs kind of tie into that. So, number 11.
Number 6 for me.
Love this song. I don't care if some people may want to say it's a cheesy song. That's why I love it. I love the opening, the beat, the riff, and then I don't know what they did, but when it comes into where everything kicks in and the bass, like that bass has such good low end to it. Like it's like, oh, I love that. And it's a great sounding recording that they did for both these songs. Catchy as hell, obviously. It's just a great song to get you moving, and it's kind of like in my opinion, it's in a way like kind of Kiss's answer to Girls, Girls, Girls. I'm pretty sure it came after Girls, Girls, but it's kind of like, yeah, we could do that kind of song too. Here you go. X and Sex.
Yes. I've always loved this one. It's a very grooving song, which works perfectly for the lyrical content of it. It's dated. The lyrics are pretty hokey, but man, such a good song. And it doesn't feel that weird. Maybe it's just because I've heard it a million times. It doesn't feel that weird now. This is another one that I loved. I look forward to this in the Sweet Pain set list every time we played it.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite ones to play live. Bruce killer solo on this. And of course I appreciated any Bruce solo that I got to play.
What was I gonna say? I don't remember, but I know I was at least like in my 20s before I realized that he was begging for an eye full, but you only get a peek.
Yeah.
Because I always swore he was saying apple, but you only get a P.
Oh, no.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
And I'm not afraid to admit that I was probably in my 20s by the time I realized what he was really saying.
Oh, that's
it's like,
good.
No. So, sticking with that, we go to You Make Me Rock Hard. This is number 13.
Number 8 for me.
Another one. This song definitely grew on me. I remember when we did do this album the last time around, and I went into it thinking, oh God, I might rank this song as my least favorite, because it just seemed like for some reason I gave it this. I wasn't giving it credit and treating it like it was this horrible Read My Body type of song or something, just god awful. But I'm like, man, you know what? Like, no, this song is catchy as hell. I mean, it's got a great riff. It's, the chorus is catchy. I mean, everything about it, cool video too and all that. I'm like, I love this song. It's very underrated. You don't hear a lot of people talk about it, but yeah. Love it. I mean, it's so cool that they put these two songs on the album. I wish they would have just done it as a single with these two songs. Bam, A, B, bam. We don't need all that other crap that they did to the album with all those other songs. That would have been perfect in itself. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the same way too. I used to gloss over this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the two new songs on Smashes are good, but X and Sex is the only one that really matters. The other one's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But no, this one caught me the last time I listened to it. Not this particular listen through, but whenever I listened to it before that, it was that same eye-opening, like, wait a minute, this song is actually really good. And it has remained that way for this listen through. Honestly, what really caught me this time, I appreciate this song as the perfect bridge between Crazy Nights and Hot in the Shade. Yeah. You can hear elements of both of those albums on there. It's still got that very, very 80s Crazy Nights sound to it, but it's more in the rock vein. that Hot in the Shade had. It has a lot of the same sort of melodic elements that the songs on Hot in the Shade had. And so I really enjoy that sort of bridge where you can hear them working out, again, kind of like with the Killer stuff, where we're going to go next.
Yeah. I wish like as far as mastering that Crazy Nights sounded more like this stuff. That would have definitely helped Crazy Nights even more.
Yep, definitely.
All right, so now we jump way far ahead, and we go all the way to the MTV Unplugged album. And you may be saying, "What? Why?" Well, there was a Japanese-only bonus track of "Got to Choose," which was not on the original version of the album. Let alone, I think they did include it on the video, but as far as the original release of the album and CD, it was not on there unless you were in Japan. So, this one was number 17 for me.
7 for me.
7. I don't know. I think it was just because it was like, I don't know. To me, it wasn't too different from listening to the version, like say even on a live or the album, other than the fact that they're playing acoustic guitars instead of the electric. As far as the way the structure and everything sounded, yeah, it was kind of cool that they gave us that little false start thing on there just to add a little bit more of that, realism to it, that, everything wasn't done in the first take. And, that was kind of a fun little thing that they added at the beginning. But I mean, it's good. I'm not saying it's not a good version or anything, but it's just like, to me, it's not anything special enough to really put it up there, especially amongst this group of songs.
Yeah, I'll admit it was weird suddenly hearing not a new song. You know what I mean? Other than Strutter 78, this is the only track on this track listing that's a song we've heard before.
Yeah.
So that's a little weird. But honestly, I am mad that this isn't on MTV Unplugged.
Yeah.
Just the regular album. I didn't realize that actually until we did it this time. I mean, I'm sure I realized it last time we did that album, but long since forgotten.
Right.
One of the coolest things about the MTV Unplugged performance was having Ace and Peter and Bruce and Eric play together. And there were only 2 songs where all 6 of them are playing, and this is one of them. They left one of them off. It just seems counterintuitive to me to take one of their early songs, one that translates so well to acoustic, like all of the ones that they did on Unplugged, and make it a bonus track when it's one of the extra exciting ones. Not only is this a cool acoustic version of a song you've heard before, but here's the original lineup and the current lineup playing together more than just the obvious Rock and Roll All Night. I've always loved Eric Singer's vocals on the verse. That was a cool touch to let the 2 drummers take the lead vocals. Awesome hearing Peter, of course, come in and do those just like he did. The 2 drums, you can hear Eric's in the left and Peter's in the right with the panning, and that was another cool aspect of it. So, yeah, I was tempted to put this lower just because it's not a new song. But honestly, I just enjoy this version so much I couldn't bring myself to put it lower.
Yeah, I think another thing that kills it for me is where they placed it on the album as far as, that bonus track, because it's after Rock and Roll All Night. And it's like,
that doesn't make any sense.
It's like the show's over, and then, then this comes on after, and it's like, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit. It doesn't feel right. They should have just squeezed it in, where it would have been in the set.
For real, yeah.
And then, you can still label it a bonus track. It's not like, why does it have to be at the very end all of a sudden? That's part of the thing that killed it for me. But yeah, and I agree that it's a shame it wasn't a part of the real album, because had it have been, it honestly may have been in my top 10 of the Unplugged stuff. But again, when it comes to this listing of songs and the grouping of songs we have here, it comes in lower for me in this case. All right, so now we jump up into technically we go to Cyclist Circus, but you can also say, the single or a box set. But we have a track that Ace did that didn't make Cyclist Circus called In Your Face. And this was also saved for a Japanese bonus track. They always get the good stuff.
Yeah.
So this one came out at number 8 for me.
18 for me.
18, yeah. It's I used to have a lot more I guess promise about this song. Like I'd almost hold it up in those same regards as like a Rocket Ride and Shock Me, like, oh, this is a great Ace song, and blah blah blah. But listening to it again, especially today, it's like there's not much to it. I know Ace, he changed the lyrics from what Gene originally wrote, which turned out for the better. But then by the end of the song, it sounds like he just ran out of ideas, and they start repeating the chorus over. He's kind of repeating lines and things like that, and but again, you get the little things like even right towards the very end as it's fading, you get the whole Ace doing the curly thing, which was you didn't get that on a recording very often, so that's always kind of fun to hear. And yeah, other than that, it's kind of a A-B song, and I would say it's probably one of my least favorite Ace songs now at this point. And like I said, I used to hold it in higher regards at the time, but I kind of agree why they didn't put it on the actual album. I mean, I'm not even sure if I would say that I would rather have this than say Journey of 1,000 Years. Even I'm not sure. Like maybe it's good that the album was put out the way it was put out.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Boy, you can tell that's a Gene melody.
Yeah.
I had heard this song before, but it had been a long time, so it was almost like going into it for the first time. And when Ace goes way up high in the verse, all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, that didn't feel natural at all. That feels like something Gene would have done. The lead vocals are mixed too low, though. I mean, it's straight up hard to tell what he's saying throughout most of it. Now, I don't know if this was... I mean, I assume what I have is the official Japanese bonus track, which, to me, I would say what I heard was forgivable for a demo. It sounded a little better than a demo, but it didn't sound like a real mix. Yeah, and I expected to like it more. People talk this song up all the time, and it's certainly not bad. But yeah, I agree. I'm not sorry at all that it was left off of Cyclist Circus. It feels like a throwaway song or like a B track that they brought in. How about this? Maybe we could work on this. And they're like, nah. There's just not enough dynamic in the song. The drum beat doesn't change like pretty much at all throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, very generic.
Yeah, so yeah, again, I feel like there's enough good parts that it could have been developed into something really cool, but didn't quite make it there.
Yeah, I mean, because now that we've heard the version that's on the vault, it's almost like they just took in that tape and just did a little mastering to it, some EQing, and maybe that's about it. And Ace recorded his vocals onto it. Not much different there. And talk about the brick walling again, like you could definitely hear it on that damn track. So then we have another one, It's My Life. Now this one kind of has a story or a long history behind it, because originally, trying not to get this wrong, but originally I believe they recorded this around the time of... What's going on?
Oh, I just heard a couple of bangs.
Oh. So originally they recorded this, I believe, around the time of Creatures, as far as the demo, because you can hear the original demo in places.
Right.
So obviously they decided to lend the song to Wendy O. Williams. She did it on her album, which, again, we did review that album. Ugh. What was it? A Gremlin and something mating is how she sounded. I forget what I said now.
Yeah, that was
But-
another thing that we heard to people talk up a lot. And like, I mean, if you like it, more power to you. But
Yeah.
both of us were kind of like,
Yeah.
okay.
So anyway, so this version, which ended up on the box set, and I'm pretty positive it was also recorded around the Cyclist Circus sessions because I know for one, to me, it sounds exactly like the stuff on Cyclist Circus. So yeah, I think I forgot to even say my ranking because I was explaining the story of the damn song. So it's number 3 for me.
Nice. I got it at 13.
13. So yeah, I've loved this song from the minute I heard it on the box set. The first time I played it, I was like, "What is this?" And didn't know all that history behind it at that time, and learned a little bit, reading the book that came with the box set. But I was just like, "Man, it's a great upbeat song." Gene's singing it, and it's like it's got that great like message and feel to it, like. Basically like, I don't care what people say, I'm doing what I want, that kind of thing. And, all that. So it's like, yeah, this is another cool kind of like We Are One and, stuff like that. And it's just always, it's another one of them Kiss songs that just make you feel good when you listen to it. So it's so cool and upbeat. And it's probably the only time that I can think of in history that it's, you got Gene doing the main song, but then Ace comes in and he's doing the lyrics, and it's just Gene and Ace on the whole song. You don't really hear Paul, you don't really hear Peter. I'm sure they're in the background vocals, but it's literally just Gene and Ace that do the main lyrics, and it's like that's never happened on a Kiss song, I'm positive. So that's another cool aspect of it too. And yeah, it's another one that's a damn shame. I know. Yeah, they finally played it on the cruise a few years ago, but it's not the same. Like, they should have played it at that time. Either Psycho Circus or either back in the Creatures era when they first wrote it or whatever. So, yeah, just always have loved this track. This was one of those tracks that I was so excited to include on this whole list when we first came up with it. It was one of the first songs that popped in my head, and to be able to finally talk about it because we didn't do this at all in the last go around. So very cool to finally be able to include stuff like this.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. This I feel like would have been very worthy to go on Psycho Circus, unlike In Your Face. I feel like this is the one that should have been the bonus track if they had to have one.
Oh yeah.
Such a superior song to In Your Face, and honestly probably better than some of the actual songs on Psycho Circus. I am glad they did not record this for Creatures. I don't feel like this would have fit on Creatures or anywhere around the Creatures era.
True.
In fact, I'm a bit surprised that that's when it was written. It doesn't feel like anything like that. It feels like the stuff on Psycho Circus. Very much in the vein of the other songs on that album. In fact, it straight up borrows a chord progression from Raise Your Glasses. So, like, well, I guess it's probably the other way around.
Yeah.
Raise Your Glasses borrows a chord progression from this. Now, given again, there's not a lot of change to the drum beat throughout this particular version, but at least the song has way more interest and dynamic than In Your Face. Very, very catchy chorus. And again, now I think I've only ever heard the Creatures demo of this leading up to this. I knew this version existed, but I'm not sure I'd ever listened to this version until now. So I was not even a little bit expecting to hear Ace at the end. That took me by surprise. That was really cool.
I always tend to forget that too. And then
Yeah.
whenever I listen to it, I'm like, oh, there's Ace. And imagine that drum beat though, and just imagine that with that kick drum that Creatures had though. That's the only thing.
Right.
But I totally get what you're saying, because like the message of the song and the vibe of it, yeah, it doesn't fit that Creatures dark, heavy feel. But
yeah, this song is not heavy. Good song, not heavy.
Ronnie says, when it comes to In Your Face, it didn't fit the theme of Psycho Circus. Probably part of the case, but I have to kind of argue that I don't see what Journey of 1,000 Years has to do with that either. But
Right.
So we're still kind of staying with the box set, but we can also kind of say this also comes off the Detroit Rock City soundtrack, which is kind of actually where this song first appeared, and it's playing during the credits as well. So we're talking about the Paul ballad "Nothing Can Keep Me From You," number 7.
This is weird what we got going on here. 17 for me. The last bunch. Whoops. I made it 7. You had 17. I had 18. You had 8. I had 13. You had 3. I had 17. Now you got 7. How are we doing this?
Yeah, that is really weird. Let's see. So yeah, I still remember a little bit when this song, came out, or we found out it was going to be on the soundtrack, and I remember hearing, the rumblings like, oh, this is going to be, this great ballad from Paul, and it's, it's possibly the best, vocals that he's put on anything, and I tell you what, it is a great song. Obviously, again, like, Detroit Rock City comes out, the soundtrack comes out, you hear that we're getting a new Kiss song. Obviously, your mind doesn't go to this kind of song. But I'll tell you what, man, it is good. And it was kind of nice to get that little different change of pace there. I mean, we needed that after Cyclist Circus and everything. And, it just fits. And, Paul sings this great. It is one of his best vocal performances, I feel. Great, vocal harmonies going on and everything. Such a great catchy song. I'm surprised other popular artists hasn't, caught on and done, covers of this song like Country Stars or whatever, because it'd probably be a success. We even had a guy that left a comment on our group that said this song was, played at his wedding. They danced to this song. So how perfect. I wish I would have thought of that. Yeah, so cool. Just everything about the movie Detroit Rock City and the soundtrack and this song. It's just, I have a lot of special memories about that time and when all that was going on. And, so cool. And we also know that we were supposed to actually have a new version of Detroit Rock City on this soundtrack too. That was the version that you hear in the movie when they're playing live, which they re-recorded in the studio. Well, I guess apparently someone screwed up at the record label or pressing plant or whatever and put the original version and not this recorded version, which but thankfully that version has popped up. It's out there. It's, it's available in some collections that has all those demos and unreleased songs. And but that's just a little asterisk to this. But anyway.
Yeah. Good song, yeah. I feel like there's a few things that they could have done to make it more Kiss-like. Like maybe some heavier distortion in the chorus would have made it feel a little. I don't know. I feel like this has a few too many similarities to Finally Found My Way to You. In fact, I may even prefer Finally Found My Way, if I'm being completely honest. Not that I'm saying that this is a bad song. This sounds more like something that Paul would have done on a solo album. I would have accepted this a little better, I think, if it were on Live to Win or if he had written this for his solo tour. It just didn't feel like a Kiss song, you know what I mean? The chord progression is cool, the melody is cool. Sometimes it felt like there were a bit too many lyrics shoved into the chorus. Paul made it work, but it just felt like he was talking really fast for a slow ballad. I was disappointed there wasn't more harmony. I feel like most of it was just Paul solo, which is okay, but I would have liked to have heard some more harmonies. And then like the other note I had is I kind of want to hear Don Henley sing this.
Oh,
I feel like that would be really cool.
That would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if Paul originally meant for this to be on Cyclist Circus, but then Peter had to have something, so that's how they got. I finally found my way.
Could be.
All right, so now we jump all the way to Monster, which, yes, we just finished Monster last week, but just lost Luke here. Hopefully, should be right back. Here we go. Okay.
And here I was thinking we were going to make a whole podcast without that.
Well, at least you're back. I was like, God, I hope his power didn't go out.
Yeah.
So anyway, you might be saying, you just finished Monster last week. Why are you doing a song off Monster? Well, once again, like we've said many times, there was a Japanese bonus track. So this one is called Right Here, Right Now. And no, it's not a cover of the Van Halen track or the live song, but number 18 for me.
Yep, 16 for me.
And, I got to agree. I believe someone said in a comment earlier, if this had actually been on the main album, it would have helped the album. And I do agree. It probably would have, it probably wouldn't have made my ranking any better because, like I said, I probably ranked it a little too high anyway. So, but maybe it would have helped it earn that 5 rating that I gave it had this song been included on the album. But other than that, it didn't, just like a lot of that stuff on that album, it didn't really do much for me. And, I'd have much rather it have been another, Tommy song or Eric song instead. Or, something different for that matter. But yeah, just came in next to last for me.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate that it's very early Kiss sounding in the verses. It's another one of those riffs that feels like they could have written back in the day. Other than that, not sure about the snare thing Eric does in the intro and in the choruses. It kind of interrupts the groove for me. So, I'm just immediately reminded of the horrible mixing and mastering on Monster. Eesh, man, turn up the freaking drums. What do we got to do to get a louder drum sound? Anything, they could have done a lot to make it closer to That's the Kind of Sugar Papa Likes.
It's true.
Yeah, it is.
I'll take the drums on that over Sonic Boom, Monster, Vegas any day. I've said that a million times.
Yeah.
All right, so now we jump to the best song on the list.
Clearly.
So a few years ago, I'm sure a lot of you should know, Scooby-Doo and Kiss did a little mashup episode or whatever, straight to DVD, which was great, by the way. I loved it. To me, it had a lot of Phantom vibes to it. I keep saying this, but I've been wanting to sit and watch it again. I need to finally do it. So we got, again, we were surprised with another brand new Kiss song. And boy, talk about a different song here. We have Don't Touch My Ascot. Number 6.
I'm glad it's there for you. It's number 5 for me.
Oh man, so if you guys know this song, and if you guys tune in early enough to see our countdown to the shows nowadays, you hear this song every week. We love the song. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing for us too that we put it on there. Just something to kind of hopefully make you guys, smile a little bit and laugh. But it's so goofy. It's just great. This whole like kind of barbershop sounding quartet song with the weird guitar lick going on, and honestly, I think Eric's vocal kind of steals the show on this song. But I got a laugh when I was listening to it today. There was one, I forget the little section, but you hear Paul in the background where it says something about like don't touch my ass, and you hear Paul say something like, "We'll make it dirty."
I never caught that.
I had to laugh at that. I was like, geez.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, part of me wants to apologize for putting this so high. Is it as good a song as I'm a Legend Tonight or Rocket Ride? Of course not. It barely counts as a whole song anyway.
Right.
But dang it, I love Kiss flexing this muscle. The blend of voices is awesome. The harmonies are interesting. The different background vocals are interesting. And best of all, they pull it off perfectly. Such a
Yeah.
weird, unusual style. Just them again flexing that muscle, like, look what we can do. We can do this barbershop quartet thing, like that's what we've been doing this whole time.
I love the fact because it's almost like they were trolling us at this point because, again, it's like, I don't even remember if there was it's weird that I don't remember it for this when this was more recent than Detroit Rock City, but I don't even remember hearing like, oh, there's a new Kiss song that's going to be in this.
You're right.
So again, everyone's probably thinking, oh, that probably means they're back in the studio, all that. Oh, who knows, all these rumors that were coming up and what's this song going to be like, blah, 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 blah. And then it's this, and it's just like, how great for them to do that. I mean,
yeah.
And to me, that just, like, if there's one song in the entire Kiss catalog that truly shows their sense of humor that us diehard fans know that they all have, because there's so many funny things out there that we've seen. This song right here is to a T, their sense of humor.
Yeah.
Well, so now we wrap it up, and we have this other random track that Kiss did with a Japanese all-girl group. I believe they were called Momoiro Clover Z, something like that.
Yeah, something very strange.
So we have this weird song, Samurai Sun. And, well, I'll just go ahead and say this was Dead Last for me, 19.
Yeah, 15 for me, pretty close to Dead Last.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Dead Last, obviously, for me in this. And again, like, it's okay. I can take it in stride. Like, it's nothing I'm going to listen to on a weekly basis or anything like that. But every now and then I might, listen to it. I might even, watch the music video, which, by the way, they did 2 different music videos for it, which is kind of cool. One's kind of more, on the Kiss side of things. The other one's kind of more on the, the girl side of things. So there's kind of 2 different videos and versions. But again, like, I don't know the story behind the collaboration, what the point of it was, where it came from, blah, blah, blah. I know Kiss did perform this song, especially in Japan, right around this time to help promote it. So that was kind of I guess you could say that's kind of a rarity now as far as live stuff, because they really only performed it, probably a few times in Japan, and that's it. Yeah, song itself though, I don't know. The riff's kind of cool. Like, there's something about it that's a little catchy. But I don't know. For the most part, it just, I don't know. I just can't really find myself wanting to listen to it that often.
Yeah. I wish this was just a regular Kiss song, honestly. The beginning is cool. The riff is pretty good. The production is what Monster should have been. Honestly, the drums are nice and clear. You can hear everything. You can hear the guitars, the bass. The only downfall for me is the stuff that the Momoiro Clover Z did. It just adds a weird element to the song that I'm not personally a fan of. You know what I mean? It's I'm sure that it's for somebody. Clearly, they liked it. And it's just the stuff they sang. I should add too, the big timpani drum sounding thing that happens several times through the song. So cool. In fact, I love that intro. It hypes you up for what is this going to be. But yeah, then when their voices come in, I don't know. I don't care for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, on the video side of things, like it is one of the better looking Kiss videos as far as like it kind of takes me back to like how I feel about say the Cyclist Circus video and stuff, because when you see Kiss in the video, it's just got that real cool, like, you know, vivid colors and, you know, just that real nice definition to it and everything.
Yeah.
So I will say, like, when it comes to the video, it is pretty cool to watch. It actually does kind of help the song, to be honest. You know, that doesn't happen a lot these days, but that is one case where the video truly does help the song, at least for me.
Yeah.
Scott, thank you for finally doing your entire rankings there. We'll get those noted. So that wraps up this little fantasy album. So we're not going to do an overall ranking since, you know, technically it's not an album and all that stuff. So it would have been kind of weird to try to, you know, do an overall ranking for just a collection of random songs. So we'll just leave it at that. And then I think we're still going to try to do some sort of true confession. So if you guys in the chat have one real quick, go ahead and throw it out, because we're going to jump to that here sooner than later, since we don't have any overall ranking to discuss. And then we'll get these final tallies figured out, and then we'll go take shelter.
Yeah.
It's definitely rumbling here now. I hear it out there.
Yeah. It's pretty much calmed down here. I'm not hearing the siren or really too much wind or anything.
Yeah, I think it finally moved this way at this point. And it's moving on about its way. Yeah, it looks like the heart of the redness is like literally in Dayton right now. So,
Oh, gotcha.
looks like you guys might have a small patch coming through again. But again, probably nothing major.
Yeah. Boy.
Why is that stuck in my head?
What's that?
The Samurai Sun.
Oh, no.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
That's one of my least favorite parts, is that them doing it. Yeah, Ronnie asked if we're excited for the documentary. Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping, I don't have regular TV, so I'm kind of hoping I can find a way to watch it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that airs next week, next Sunday, the first night. So, yeah.
I'm gonna have to look into a way to get A&E for a week or something and watch that.
All right. I guess we'll jump into some true confessions real quick, and then we'll get these final tallies done. So we will be right back.
Once again, please. True confessions.
All right, we're back. True confession time. What you got for us?
Well, I talked about it earlier, but I think it's worth mentioning again. The 4 new songs on Killers are the highlight of that compilation, and they were the highlight of this listen through for me. My personal opinion, they should have ditched doing a greatest hits and recorded a brand new studio album. They could have even still called it Killers.
Yeah.
In the vein of those 4 new tracks, I would friggin' love to hear what Gene songs in that era would have been. I would love to have a whole album that has the production of those 4. I think it would have been a great bridge between the Elder and Creatures. Yeah, I've never personally been a big fan of the let's record some new songs for a greatest hits thing. It doesn't make sense to me. I think it defeats the purpose of a compilation. It's kind of pretty strongly a strong assumption that you can write 4 especially new songs that are all as good as your biggest hits.
Right.
So to me, and I'm just some guy, I think it makes more sense even for them to have done just another whole studio album. They already were halfway there. Give us 8 tracks. Screw it. We would have complained about it, but we would have loved it.
I mean, I totally agree. I think with Alive 2, Killers, those 2 especially, just put those out as a little EP. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
And then like I was saying with the Smashes stuff, bam, 1 single, AB, bam, 2 new Kiss songs.
Yep.
That's all we needed. I totally would rather have had that instead of these compilations that are just rehashing. And to this day, they're still putting out compilations that are just rehashing the same songs over and over and over. Like how many compilations? I don't even know the number of how many compilations we have now and it's the same stuff over and over.
Yeah.
The only one I thought was kind of cool because of the way they marketed it was the icons, because you had each disc was specifically songs by each member. I thought that was kind of a cool concept. It made it kind of fun to listen to it that way. But other than that, yeah, I mean, all this other stuff is just, again, the same rehash stuff. Now, and then they'll throw random things on there to really get the sell point, like a demo of Nowhere to Run or whatever that one had, or it was like a remix or something, or a live version of this, or stuff like that. Little sell points like, oh, you got to get it just to get this version of the song, that kind of
thing. And even that bothers me, honestly, because again, it defeats the purpose of a greatest hits.
Yeah.
I think about why would I buy a greatest hits from any band? And honestly, the only reason I'm personally likely to buy a greatest hits is if it's a band that I'm aware of but don't know much of their material and I want to get into them. Like, for example, recently I read the Wikipedia page for Styx.
Yeah.
I've never really listened to a lot of their music or anything. I would go buy a Styx greatest hits right now just to get a taste of their big stuff. I don't want to hear unreleased stuff. I don't want to hear live stuff. I don't want to hear demos. I want to hear their hits.
Yeah.
It defeats the purpose.
Well, then sometimes you gotta scour through 5 or 10 greatest hits compilations to find the right one.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's been cases where I've like, say there was an artist or band where, okay, I want to just get a greatest hits of theirs, and there's like, say, at least 1 or 2 specific songs that I know I want, that I know I like, and I'm looking at a greatest hits and it's not even on there. I'm like, how's this a greatest hits with this song not even on there?
Yeah.
But then you keep looking and looking, and then finally you find one that has everything, if you're lucky. Sometimes you're not. I mean,
yeah.
And that happens a lot too, and it just gets so aggravating.
It is. Has Kiss put out a greatest hits with Shock Me on it? Is it on literally any of them?
I honestly do not think so, to be honest.
What?
I mean, I would literally be willing to like bet money right now that if someone could show me that it's on a compilation, I would owe them $50.
Right, and like an official Kiss,
yes,
not just like one of the like the gold or whatever, those weird ones that were put together. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like you said with the greatest hits, but they'll put a live version of the song instead of the studio version, which is the real greatest hit. And the first band that comes to my mind is like Leonard Skinner, because like they'll be like, back in the day, like I wanted a Leonard Skinner greatest hits, but it's got the live version of Freebird instead of the studio version. It's like that's not the version I want. That's not the version that made them a hit. I don't want this, live version that don't sound as good as the studio version and all that stuff. So yeah, you get that a lot. They'll substitute the live version for the studio version, things like that.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Scott has a true confession here. He says they really done a lot of good side tracks. His opinion should have wound up being on the albums instead of some of the tracks that were put on the albums. What's it? Hangout Americano. I really like the song Love Gun. What's up? New name there to us as far as I remember.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you, man, and definitely agree. Love Gun is an awesome track.
And a great album for that matter. So thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that does it for confessions, unless anyone else had anything or what we were talking about. So ready for these rankings?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys. So, at this point in our episodes, normally we go through every single person who's contributed rankings. Of course, because we didn't do this last time we went through the discography, it's going to be a lot less this time, which is okay. It's less talking from me. So you've seen the two of us talk about our rankings here. We also have rankings from Scott Gosnell, Carolina Hard Rock, who's hanging out in the chat right now. Scott's top three were Larger Than Life, Rocket Ride, and All American Man. So thank you, Scott, for throwing those in there. We also have our regulars, Steve and Rochelle McGowan, who always contribute votes. Now that this is the final episode of the You Wanted the Best series, I can say Steve and Rochelle, besides the two of us, I think might be the only ones that contributed rankings to every single album. So huge thank you to Steve and Rochelle for doing that.
Yes, yeah.
And of course, thanks to everybody who contributed rankings to any of these. We really appreciate the input. It's essential for this. There's no reason for us to do this at all, honestly, if it's just me and Eli's opinion.
Right, right.
We're just a couple of guys, so it's awesome to be able to include a little chunk of the KISS fan base to add our opinions to, so that it's a little bit more than just here's some crap we thought of.
Yeah, I mean, we could just as easily be sitting in a room together talking about this stuff instead of going through all this work and effort to do it like this, because we want the opinion and we love to hear how everyone's opinion differs and all that. And we love the input, and talking KISS with everyone is what it comes down to. Yes,
absolutely. So Steve McGowan gave us rankings for this. His top three, let me see if I can find all the numbers here. In third for him, It's My Life, Rocket Ride in second, and Nowhere to Run as his number one. And then Rochelle McGowan, her top three. In third, Let's Put the X in Sex. In second, You Make Me Rock Hard. And in first, Nothing Can Keep Me From You. So very interesting rankings from Rochelle there. Again,
absolutely.
Much appreciated. Yeah. Oh, another new name in the comments here. Brandon Story. Good to see you, man.
Yeah.
Or good to read you, I guess. To be fair. Love Gun is good. I really like Deuce. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We talked up Deuce at the beginning of today's episode, the live version.
Oh, yeah. Deuce is my pick to win the entire live thing, but we'll see what happens.
Yes. All right, so let's jump into our rankings here. This is going to take a second since there's 19 tracks. Hangout, you need to go check it out.
Getting a little fishy here again already.
Yeah. I noticed Richie Slan isn't in here.
Yeah, perhaps he got a name change.
Okay, so in dead last place in 19th, everybody say it with me, Samurai Sun. Yeah. Not a big surprise there. That was ranked in dead last by everybody but me, I think. No, I take that back. Scott didn't rank it last either. It was 17 for him, so basically last for everybody. In 18th place, Any Way You Want It. Another not a big surprise. In 17th place, Right Here, Right Now. In 16th, In Your Face. Surprised not to see that a little bit higher up, but it was pretty low on most of our lists. In 15th, Rockin' in the USA.
Wow.
Pretty low for an Alive 2 track. In 14th place, Partners in Crime. In 13th, Larger Than Life. Another pretty low there for Alive 2. In 12th place, Strutter 78. In 11th, Down on Your Knees. In 10th place, Got to Choose from MTV Unplugged. In 9th place, Don't Touch My Ascot.
I love it.
Very good to see that one pretty high up the list. That's hilarious. In 8th place, Nothing Can Keep Me From You. Yes, tons of new names coming in here today. We appreciate all the comments, guys.
What in the world?
I love it.
Oh,
can you provide a phonetic? How do you say your name? Strutter is a party song. Love it. Reminds me of my mother. Oh my God, what is going on? Oh, in 7th place in our rankings, You Make Me Rock Hard. Right alongside it in 6th place, Let's Put the X in Sex. In 5th place, just barely missing our top 4, I'm a Legend Tonight. And our top 4 for this week, our first ever episode on the extras. In 4th place, Rocket Ride. In 3rd place, It's My Life. Good to see that one so high up. In 2nd place, Nowhere to Run. And in 1st place, by a landslide, I might add, All American Man.
Wow. I was not expecting that to be number 1.
Yeah, and by a lot. Like, even if a few more people put in votes, I don't see them knocking that out of there.
That's crazy.
Anek, like attic. Anik, then I assume. Anik. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for the comments. I'm gonna export this out. Yeah. So yeah. Wow. This is a pretty big moment for us. Something we haven't been able to celebrate for a while now. The completion of our 3rd series of Crazy Kiss Countdown.
Wow. Yeah. It's wow. Kind of hard to believe that it's done again.
Right.
It doesn't feel like it's been that long since we decided to go back to the discography, and we were excited and announced all that, and yeah, so here we are again. But like we said last week, we are far from done. We've got tons of ideas and plans. Everything from more poll tournaments. We've got more games in mind, and live watch-alongs on videos, all that kind of stuff. We may even kind of bounce back into the old Second Coming stuff, and still cover some of those albums every now and then, back and forth. And then of course, here probably within the next, I'd say, couple weeks, we'll probably be doing a show, pretty much just recapping the documentary. Talking about that and giving our thoughts and everything, and hopefully you guys all chime in with that too. We did find out there's definitely going to be some cool things posted in within that documentary that I'm excited to see. So just little hints there, and can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, yep. So I imagine next week will probably be kind of a roundup on the You Wanted the Best series, kind of like what we did at the end of the original 4K series.
Yeah,
Um, don't forget, guys, it is not too late. It is never too late to put in
that's 3 days
votes.
grace then.
I know, right? Yeah. Uh, it is never too late to put in votes on the previous albums. So
Yeah.
we will go back through and add those in as rankings can change. Um, definitely going to do some awards, as it were, for probably you, me, Steve, and Rochelle. I'm going to have to look to make sure, see if there are any other names that were what is going on.
Where are all these new names coming from? What is
I
going
don't
on?
know. This is funny.
I'm sorry, but I'm a little skeptical. I apologize if you people are legit, but I'm just surprised to see all these new names all at once. I'm a
This
little
is it.
skeptical.
This is the moment the podcast becomes huge. We're going to look back on this and be like, you remember that one time when a bunch of names showed up?
The roller coaster is about to begin.
Yes.
Ronnie, it's funny you say that because yes, we do have another idea for another fantasy type thing like what we did today, but doing a lot of those like demo songs that were unreleased and things of that nature. So we're definitely shaping up to do something like that in the near future. It's pretty much just a matter of when we decide to do it. Really, I mean.
Yeah.
Like we said a week or two ago, just you definitely got to keep an eye on the Facebook group because especially now in this case that we're done with the official discography, we'll just be sure to put the announcements out as early as we can each week, so you guys can expect to know what to expect for each show that coming week, and to give you guys a heads up, especially if it's something that we need your votes on, as always.
Absolutely. And Sadie, if that's how you pronounce your name, apologies if that isn't. You can just comment right on this video. It would be helpful if you could comment after the stream has finished rather than in the live comments. But anything you put in the comments in this video, we'll see, and we will be adding those votes in as we go.
Yes,
So,
and if you're referring to our live tournament polls, you just go over to our Facebook group, Kiss Meets the Podcast group. You do have to request entry, but we do approve basically everybody, and then we'll be sure to get you in there. Only a Facebook group right now. I haven't really been familiar with Discord. I'm not 100% how that works anyway. I don't know. How are you?
No, not really. I've used the app, but not anything more than joining something else. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, right now just a Facebook group, and then of course here on YouTube. And so thanks. We look forward to getting your votes in as well. Like Luke just said, it's never too late. You can go back, put in your votes for every single album if you want to. We'll be more than happy to add those in and see if it changes any overall rankings. And that's what this is all about. There's never really a deadline where we're not accepting any more votes. You can, spread the word, tell your friends. The more votes we get, the better. It makes it more of a competition amongst these songs and albums and everything. So, yeah. I'm not even sure what the plan is for next week. Do you have an idea other than the wrap up?
I think I can prep up a wrap-up episode that'll take up all the time we have. Get some awards in there for the people who participated on every single episode. I'd like to do kind of a recap on our top 4 songs from every album, as well as the albums in order of their overall ranking, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of a nice recap for anybody who doesn't. If you're new and you don't feel like going back and watching every single episode, it'll be a good recap of kind of what happened and how often we talked about That's the Kind of Sugar Papa Likes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to jot down the top 4 of each album too, because I got to do my nerdy thing like I did at the end of the last discography. I got to go back and listen to then it was the top 3, but now I'm going to do the top 4. So
yeah.
JLG videos. Another thing. Hey, I hope this is legit. So
Yeah, gonna vote tonight. Awesome to hear. Awesome.
So yeah, just be looking forward. It's going to be just kind of like a little wrap up party vibe. So hopefully you guys join us and let's have a good time talking about Kiss.
We're gonna have a pizza. What type of toppings do you guys like?
You guys get to watch us eat pizza. And,
we got to get something for everybody. I grew up allergic to cheese. Is everybody cool with no cheese?
Jesus. That's not the kind of sugar Papa likes. So for all of you new people, we always say anyone's welcome to come on with us. If you got a camera and you want to come on a show, especially next week, being that it's kind of a wrap-up party, hey, more the merrier. Anyone's welcome to join us on here on the video side of things. We love having people on and chatting with us and getting to know you. So yeah, so look for the wrap-up party next week, and then who knows what's coming after that. We may go ahead and pull another game out or something. Who knows? You'll just have to kind of wait, and we'll either announce it next week or we'll announce it pepperoni. Yeah,
we're definitely getting pepperoni for Sadie. That's awesome.
Dude,
JLG, he's in.
Yeah.
What happened to Hangout Americano? Where you at, Americano? We got to play Deuce for you.
Yeah. Where's
Pineapple?
Oh, I was getting ready to say, where's Eddie?
Anik knows where it's at.
Where's Scott, man? Where'd you go?
Yeah.
Anchovies, Scott.
We got it. We're doing it all.
Now I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I haven't had supper yet. I'm in there. I ate a whole bag of Bugles earlier. It's probably not good.
Oh, so yeah. Once again, all you new people that suddenly showed up, we appreciate it. I hope you guys are legit. I'm sorry, but I'm a little skeptical. But please go over to our Facebook page and join our group. That's how you're going to stay updated on everything. Plus, you can vote on our polls and whatnot. So, and again, please spread the word. So we appreciate all the support. So we're going to get out of here. Time to quit blabbing. You see how these storms are looking over our way, and maybe that's what happened. Maybe we landed in Oz or something, and now we get all these new people. And,
I'm into it. That's awesome.
Our houses blew away mid-show. We didn't know it.
Did we land on any witches? That would be pretty cool.
Maybe.
I'm gonna have to check around the sides of the building.
Well, we haven't heard from Savannah in a while, so
could be.
All right, guys. So again, next week wrap-up show. It's going to be a good time. Just let it loose, have some fun, talking Kiss, all that good stuff. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Everyone, take care.